Well, Kyle Sandilands is a bloke who polarises people. His fans love him. But after some appalling on-air controversies, his critics say he's a bully. And these days he's heavily censored by his nervous radio bosses. When I sat down with him, I wondered whether he'd actually learned his lesson.
I can be a real make no mistake.
Some fat slag on Telegraph website.
Oh, you're in dangerous territory.
Is that the only experience you've had?
I will have a grudge. I will.
You put her in a concentration camp and you watch the way you fall. Like, she could be skinny.
Keep looking at my stomach.
I'm not looking at...
I keep looking at you, looking at it.
Not only does everyone, according to the media, hate my guts.
Why should I not be able to say something? Where's the censor?
Tell me about this censorship thing, because I'm fascinated by this process. You really do have people over there who are effectively censoring what you're saying. And you've got a little light in that studio over there that will go off.
In my line of sight, I can see a little light. So it flashes. There's been a half a dozen times over my career that I've said stupid things or mouthed off with no real knowledge of a situation and just said something at the time. And it happens when you do 3 hours every day. So now they have a system of lights, warning lights that go on. So if I'm on some rant, raving on about something that I don't like, which happens quite often, they start flashing a red light, which tells me, oh, you're in dangerous territory, calm down a bit.
How often does the red light go off now? And do you ever get surprised and think, oh, I can't possibly be close to the edge with that, surely?
Every day the red light goes off.
But you have in the past offended more than one person. And
well, I'd like to see a list, but you're probably right. There's probably more than one.
there have been a few, celebrated incidents, and celebrated is probably the wrong word, where you...
No one celebrated at my place.
No, I can imagine. I don't think they were celebrated around here either, were they?
No.
Do you feel misunderstood about that, or do you understand quite clearly that you overstepped the mark in those cases?
Oh, I think some I do understand quite clearly. The journalist girl that I went on a rant and rave about, that was way overboard, and I took it emotionally and personally, and I should have had myself a bit more together.
And so you get that, you totally get that, because I think, when we think about the biggest incidents with you, and that was one of them, of course. There was the one with the lie detector, there was the one with Magda Szubanski. I think there's still a perception out there that you feel that you were misunderstood and that you were hard done by.
The Magda thing was a fat joke that turned into some sort of me hating Jewish people. That was never the intention. And Magda's like a fun girl. I've met her before. I spoke to Magda on the phone about it, and she said, it was a dumb thing to say, and I totally get why Magda was worried about that, because she thought it was like a slur on the Jewish community, which it wasn't. But I went off to the Jewish museum, and I'm an uneducated, didn't even finish year 10. So, just a Brisbane boy who just mouthed off and made a fat joke. And then the good thing that came out of that is I was educated in what a lot of people went through.
The voice is nothing. The look is nothing. There's nothing there.
It's lavender, you Thanks.
You were strangling me to death. What do you expect?
Where does the short fuse come from? Because you can go off on a rant. I think you've admitted you've got a bit of a temper.
Yeah.
What's the background to that, Kyle? Why the anger?
Well, I'm not even angry, to tell you the truth. We're just really just a bunch of larrikins just having a bit of fun. Not out to cause any trouble in any way. Would
you say that you've got a bit of a glass jaw? That you don't cop criticism very well?
Oh, I do not cop it at all well. Not at all. Who does? When it's your own name getting criticised, I think we all get very tender. So a lot of people say, oh, suck it up, don't worry about it. If you didn't want someone on your show, I'm sure you wouldn't have them on there. You wouldn't.
I've got a much more Teflon hide, I think, than you. And I think I'm older than you quite a bit, but still I think we've both been around long enough to just roll with the punches a bit.
Not
but
me.
You don't.
I will have a grudge. I will. It's human nature. People will hold grudges. If you don't like somebody, or someone steps in your space and you don't want anything to do with them, why would I have them on the radio show?
The biggest show of last year was The Voice, and there were all sorts of comparisons made about how this was the new world order of talent shows, because the talent were nurtured and encouraged and treated kindly, and the era of the nasty judge was out. How are you going to fit into that new world order?
Well, I'm going to be all about positivity. No, only joking. Look, I'm just going to be me, but I can be a real Make no mistake.
But why? I don't get the
Why
why.
not? Why? Because that's how I am.
Because I guess the contradiction is that you are very sensitive about criticism of you. And
Yes, but I'm not.
Well, you are, because
Who said I
you
am?
arc up.
Yeah, but everyone arcs up.
Well, that's what I mean.
When was the last time you had a fight with someone in the traffic? You probably don't fight in the traffic.
Hardly, almost never.
Have you ever got out of your car?
Never.
Oh, Tracy.
Have you got out of your car and had a
I've
go
got out
at
of
someone
my
in
car
the traffic?
before. Yeah, I've got out of my car once before.
Really?
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I've not read about that. That's almost assault. You can't do that.
No,
You can't get out of
getting
your
out
car
of your car is not assault.
and go up to someone and what, abuse them?
No. See, now there you go.
What?
Typical journalist, starting to make up the rest of the story.
Well, what
I
have you
gave
done when
10%, and you invented 90% of the story.
Well, what have you done when you've got out of your car in the traffic?
Well, I didn't get a chance to do anything because the guy hit reverse and took off backwards.
That's because he was intimidated.
I could have just been going to put a bit of rubbish in the bin.
What I see is a guy who's sensitive to criticism but doesn't mind handing it out willy-nilly. And I wonder whether you ever feel sorry for the people that you bag
Never.
about.
I never feel sorry for them. Because you know what? What's the worst thing that can happen? Maybe that one thing that I'm telling them is the one thing that's standing in their way of a record company signing them or getting the job in the circus or whatever it is that they want to do. Maybe I'm right.
And maybe you're wrong.
Maybe I am. But I'm happy to take the gamble. That's why there's 4 of us.
The other criticism of you, and I know you've answered it, but it is a lingering perception, I think, that you never have a crack at big burly rugby players or...
I always have a go at Wendell Saylor. You seen the arse on that guy?
Most of your transgressions have involved women.
Which is totally another invented lie by journalists.
Well, most
The
of
ones that they've blown up have. But I'm certainly... I think I've read it that I'm a misogynist, I'm a woman hater, I always attack women. It's just simply just not true. I'll say anything to anyone. Doesn't matter. I've had a fight with a midget once at the Arias. Doesn't matter. If you say something, or there's going to be an altercation, or we cross paths and we disagree, doesn't matter. I don't mind what race or what sex you are. Like, I'll say what I think.
You see, I've read about you that you get migraines and you take a lot of sickies and you know, and I think
Answer that phone for God's sake.
I wonder.
That's said to a man, by the way, a very big, large, scary-looking man.
Where is
Thelma, don't you come forward, darling. You're too small. You want the big boys to answer it. Velma's a boy, by the way. I just call him a girl's name.
What's his real name?
I don't know his name.
Is that true? Mm-hmm. It's true.
My name this morning.
Why don't you call him his real name?
When they get new staff, I never learn their real name because I give them a name of someone they look like so I can remember, because sometimes they don't last very long. And once they've been here for 6 months, then I figure out what their real name is. But by then, look at him. Step forward.
Don't pick on him.
No, do you know why I call him Velma?
No, well,
From
no.
Scooby-Doo?
Oh, because of the glasses.
Velma.
Isn't it?
And he used to wear an orange skivvy.
So there's a gender issue, you know. It's
no
almost a
problem.
girl's name. Right. Nice to meet you, Velma.
Nice to meet you.
What's your real name?
Tim.
Hi, Tim. I'm
Hi.
Tracy. His name's Tim. I'm
I
trying
think
to
you've
remember
got
that.
Tim. 12 months.
Yes.
12 months he's been here.
Well, I haven't. I lived half the year overseas.
Look, you're taking the piss, right?
Watch your mouth, or I will hunt you down. What a fat bit of thing you are.
Do you get that you went wrong and that you needed to be monitored and you needed to change, or do you still not get it?
I get why they put the monitors in place, but I don't think that it was required.
Millions of sponsors' dollars pulled, shows
Yeah, but that was
suspended.
because of hater campaigns on Twitter. That wasn't because the guy who runs the shop thought, I better not. They want to advertise with us because this is where all the people are. But people were sending hate campaigns directly to their website and trying to tell as many people as they can that they will boycott and destroy their business if they advertise with us. That's what hate is. The Twitter people, they were doing the hate campaigns.
I get that, but at the start of that whole chain is something you said.
Yeah, that's right.
And
then they all jump on the bandwagon and start hating.
But do you acknowledge that it all started with something you said?
Yes. But just what? So, why should I not be able to say something But some faceless clown on Twitter can go and say whatever they want with no repercussions. None. Zero. People just like to say, oh, he's a bully, let's get him fired, let's attack everyone that likes him. But it's just, that's really what the bad thing in society is. Not me making a fat joke here and there. That's just fun.
So on Australia's Got Talent, no one has asked you, no one from Nine has said to you, you have to tone it down because it's all about nurturing and being nice these days. You haven't, none of that?
No one has said anything like that.
You have no intention of doing that?
I have no intentions of upsetting anybody, but I have no doubt that I might or I could, because different people get upset by different things. But I'm never out to intentionally, I don't want to see anyone break down and cry or anything like that. Like, I find that horrible. It's very hard being a TV talent show judge.
It's a hard life.
It is a hard life. It's hard to please everyone. You can't please everyone. I only try and please the people that like what I do and the people that don't know about me or don't really have an opinion. People who already have made up their mind and they don't like what I do, or they don't like me, or they don't like the TV show, they've already made up their mind. I don't really waste any time trying to lure them back to what's great about me. I'm not a big self-promoter. What? You don't believe anything I say? I'm not a big self-promoter.
You know. I mean, you've made a lot of money out of having a very high profile, and a large part of your high profile has been because you are not beige. So every time you say something outrageous, that is self-promoting, isn't it?
Well, but I don't ever intentionally, like, I haven't come in here at 3 a.m. and thought and written out some witty line and think I'll say this on the show today. There is no preparation on this show. I show up at 5 to 6 and come on air. I haven't read a newspaper. I've not watched any television news. I have no idea what I'm going into the day with each day, and we just wing it. It's just, that's how it is. Maybe that's the problem.
We have to wrap it up. Thanks for your time.
Oh, God, I thought I had the whole half hour. Well, nice to see you.
You too.
Come on again, have a chat.
Okay.
Have I ever offended you when you've been on?
I've only been on once. No, you were charming.
Charming. Are you going to leave this in?
That you were charming to
Yeah.
me when I was on air with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see when it goes to
Yeah,
air.
no, we'll leave that in.
I bet you put all these awful things in. Me yelling, me not knowing anyone's name.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Good, I'm
Yeah, we'll
glad.
do that. There's no
Give
doubt
them the
about that.
whole, give them the full circle.
Yeah, that's it. We do all sides.
No zoom-ins on the belly.
There'll be nothing on the belly. Stop about the belly.
I can't stop.
I care
My
about
bloody
your belly.
jacket won't even do it properly.
Doesn't
I've
look-
got to go and do some sit-ups.
All right. Bye.
Who are we kidding? I'm not doing any sit-ups.
He is, without doubt, a man of extremes, and we're sure you'll make up your own mind from that.